Well, I saw the thing coming out of the sky. It had a one long horn.
These songs made the whole world laugh, but the stories behind them, nobody was laughing. A bread salesman who became a country star overnight, a songwriter working nights just to pay rent, a woman who wrote a global hit tapping her fingernails together.
Trailer for sale or rent. Rooms.
Here's what most people never knew. Some of these joke songs outsold every serious country hit of their decade. 10 songs, 10 hidden stories, and number 1 will change the way you think about country music forever. Stay right there. Number 10, Ray Stevens, The Streak, 1974.
Here he comes.
Boogity, boogity.
There he goes.
Boogity, boogity.
People were running naked through public places across America, college campuses, shopping malls, award shows, and Ray Stevens was waiting for exactly this kind of moment his entire career.
Proud as he can be of his anatomy, he gonna give us a peek.
A fake news report, a bewildered reporter, the same confused man on the street getting interviewed every single time. Simple, cartoonish, perfectly constructed. It hit number 1 on both the American and British singles charts simultaneously.
There's an audience to be found, he'll be streaking around, inviting public.
It sold over 5 million copies internationally and ranked on Billboard's top hits of 1974 at number 8. What people miss is the craft underneath the silliness. Every sound effect is deliberate, every line is timed perfectly.
See what happened. Yeah, I did. I just in there trying to get a little.
Serious work hiding behind a silly surface. That's why it sold 5 million, when 100 other novelty songs from the same era sold nothing. The next one made divorce the funniest thing a man ever survived.
Well, we're not ready. We got a man down. Thank you.
If you grew up with this kind of country music, take a moment to subscribe to Retro Vault. This channel is about keeping these songs and stories alive, and every subscription truly helps the channel grow. It tells YouTube that real country music history still matters and helps these videos reach more people who remember this era. The more support the channel gets, the more stories we can keep bringing you. Number 9, Mick Davis, It's Hard to Be Humble, 1980.
Oh Lord, it's hard to be humble when you're perfect.
A Texas roadhouse Friday night. A man walks to the microphone with a grin so wide you already know something funny is coming. A man so perfect in his own mind that nobody on earth measures up. No girlfriend, no real friends, just pure confident delusion delivered with a completely straight face.
And each day to know me is to love.
It peaked at number 10 on the Billboard Hot Country Songs chart and landed in the top 10 in Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. International reach for a comedy song was almost unheard of. Here's the fun fact that stops people cold. This is the same man who wrote In the Ghetto for Elvis Presley.
But I'm doing the best that I can.
One of the most devastating social commentary songs in American music history. Mac Davis went from writing about poverty and despair for the king of rock and roll to writing about a man too handsome for his own social life. That range is almost impossible to explain.
Just couldn't compete with all of these loves.
As Nashville chased smoother sounds in the early 80s, quirky humor like this got quietly pushed aside. But for the people who needed a laugh, this song delivered every single time. The next one was performed live for the first time in front of convicted felons, completely unrehearsed off a piece of paper. Number 8, Johnny Cash, A Boy Named Sue, 1969.
Well, my daddy left home when I was 3, didn't leave very much to my ma and me.
A Prison, February 1969. The most dangerous audience in America sitting in rows, and Cash, instead of playing something safe, pulls out a piece of paper he's never performed from before and starts telling a story about a boy with a girl's name hunting down his deadbeat father.
Before he left, he went and named me Sue. He must have thought.
Unrehearsed in front of convicted felons, off a lyric sheet, It started at a guitar pull at Cash's home in Hendersonville, Tennessee, one night where Bob Dylan sang Lay Lady Lay, Chris Christopherson sang Me and Bobby McGee, Joni Mitchell sang Both Sides Now, Graham Nash sang Marrakesh Express,
And I'd turn red and some guy'd laugh and I'd bust his head. I tell you, life ain't easy.
and Shel Silverstein sang A Boy Named Sue. Cash loved it. June Carter knew instantly it was perfect for Johnny. He took the lyrics to San Quentin and performed it for the first time live, the band improvising behind him, Cash glancing down at the paper the whole way through.
I hide my shame, but I made me a vow to the moon and stars.
The inmates went wild. From the ovation, Cash suspected he had a hit on his hands. Columbia released it as a single, but had to clean up a few lines before country radio would play it. With certain words bleeped out, it topped the country charts for 5 weeks straight.
I just hit town and my throat was dry. Thought I'd stop and have myself a brew.
It became Cash's biggest hit on the Billboard Hot 100. His only top 10 single there was spending 3 weeks at number 2. The only thing that kept it off number 1 was the Rolling Stones' Honky Tonk Women. The man who wrote it, Shel Silverstein, also wrote The Giving Tree.
When I knew that snake was my own sweet dad from a worn out.
A children's book author handed the man in black his biggest pop hit of an entire career. At the 1970 Grammys, Cash won Best Country Vocal Performance Male, and Silverstein won Best Country Song. This song is funny, but
My blood ran cold. I said, my name is Sue. How do you do?
underneath the humor is something real. A father who knew his son needed to be tough to survive and gave him the hardest possible gift. That's not just a joke. That's country music. The next one turned being broke and homeless into 10 million records sold worldwide. Number 7, Roger Miller, King of the Road, 1965.
Trailer for sale.
A dirt road to nowhere, empty pockets, a full heart, a hobo with no phone, no pool, no pets, and he's the happiest man alive. Comedy disguised as philosophy.
I ain't got no cigarettes, but two.
It reached number 1 on the Billboard Country chart, number 4 on the Hot 100, and number 1 in both the UK and Norway. It won Miller 5 Grammy Awards in 1966. Worldwide sales sit around 10 million copies.
No means king of the road.
Miller got the idea from a barn sign reading, "Trailers for sale or rent." One sign on a highway, 5 Grammys, 10 million records. He spent 6 weeks writing it, perfecting every single word about having absolutely nothing.
Suit and shoes. I don't pay no union.
Miller didn't write a joke, he wrote a character. And characters don't go out of style. The next one walked into a room full of hypocrites and destroyed every single one of them. Number 5, C.W. McCall Convoy, 1975. 18-wheelers rolling in formation, CB radios crackling, a song that made the whole country feel like they were part of something bigger than themselves. Here's the story nobody believes. C.U. McCall was a fictional character created by advertising executive Bill Fries to sell Old Home bread, starting in radio commercials before becoming a recording artist, not a real person. A bread commercial that got too big for television. It spent 6 weeks at number 1 on the country chart and 1 week at number 1 on the pop chart. It debuted at number 82 on the Hot 100 and hit number 1 just 5 weeks later, one of the fastest chart climbs of the decade. Then came the Hollywood movie with Chris Christopherson and Ali MacGraw. Nashville's establishment wasn't comfortable with this at number 1. Some program directors felt it was too gimmicky, but the audience didn't care what the gatekeepers thought. They called stations demanding it. They bought it in massive numbers.
Had a bear in the air. I says, calling all trucks, says, here's the duck. We about to go a crash.
The people decided, not the establishment. That's the country music story that never changes. The next one turned public nudity into 5 million records sold worldwide. Number 4, Sheb, Wooley, The Purple People Eater, 1958.
Well, I saw the
A country boy from Oklahoma sitting at a dinner table. His friend's kid comes home from school with a joke. What has one eye, one horn, flies and eats people? Wooley heard it, went home and wrote the song that night.
to me. It was a one-eyed, one-horned, flying purple people eater. One-eyed, one.
The premise came directly from a joke told by the child of songwriter friend Don Robertson, a one-eyed, one-horned flying people eater. It hit number 1 on the Hot 100 on June 2nd, 1958, and stayed there for 6 straight weeks. It hit number 1 in Canada and Australia and reached number 12 in the UK.
I said, Mr. Purple People Eater, don't eat me. I heard it saying.
Here's the fun fact that floors people. Wooley created the alien squeaky voice by recording himself normally, then speeding up the tape, the exact same trick Alvin and the Chipmunks used that same year. 2 artists, same technique, same year, neither knew about the other.
One-eyed, one-horned, flying purple people eater sure looks strange to me.
And here's what makes this story even better. Wooley himself didn't like the song at first. Nobody around him did either. He almost never recorded it. The man who almost didn't release his own song ended up with one of the biggest novelty hits in American music history.
I want to get a job in a rock and roll band.
Well, bless my soul, rock and roll.
Sometimes the songs you believe in least are the ones the world needs most. The next one made being too perfect sound like the loneliest problem in the world. Number 3, Jerry Reed, She Got the Gold Mine, I Got the Shaft, 1982. A man in a honky-tonk explaining his divorce to whoever will listen, lost the house, both cars, the kids, child support, alimony, court costs, and he sings about every single loss like it's the greatest comedy special he's ever performed.
Well, she said she would, so I said I do, but I'd have said I wouldn't if I'd have...
It hit number 1 on the Billboard Hot Country Songs chart and stayed there for 2 weeks in 1982. The title itself is the whole joke, gold mine and shaft as both a divorce metaphor and a mining term.
...into the child support. And it wasn't very long till the lust all died. And
Reed built the punchline into the title, then spent 3 minutes delivering on it. That's precision comedy writing at the highest level. Reed is underrated today because Smokey and the Bandit gave him pop culture fame, but pulled attention from his musical genius.
so long, Turkey. My attorney will be in touch. Well, I decided right...
Grammy winner, Elvis collaborator, Nashville's greatest guitar player, and the funniest songwriter country music ever produced. The next one was written by a woman tapping her fingernails and became one of the biggest songs of the entire decade. Number 2, Dolly Parton in 9 to 5, 1980.
I tumble out of bed and I stumble to the kitchen, pour myself a cup of ambition.
Fluorescent lights, stacks of paper, a boss taking credit for everyone else's work, women doing twice the job for half the pay, and one woman deciding to sing about all of it with a smile.
Me on the job from 9 to 5, working 9 to...
It was the first song by a woman to top both the Billboard Hot 100 and Hot Country Songs charts since Jeannie C. Riley's Harper Valley PTA in 1968. It won 2 Grammys. It became one of the most recognized songs of the entire decade worldwide.
And they never give you credit, it's enough to drive you.
Dolly was bored between takes on the movie set. She started tapping her acrylic fingernails together rhythmically. That rhythm felt like something. She kept going. Added words, those nail taps became the signature percussion sound of one of the biggest hits of 1980.
Their promotion want to move ahead, but the boss won't seem to let...
The humor here is the humor of recognition. You laugh because you know exactly what she's talking about. And truth like that doesn't have an expiration date. Every generation of working people hears this and feels like Dolly wrote it last week just for them.
Got dreams he'll never take away.
And you're in the same.
And now, number one, a dying man on a train, a sip of whiskey, and the greatest accidental philosophy lecture country music ever produced.
Well, we're not ready. We got a man down. Thank you.
If you grew up with this kind of country music, take a moment to subscribe to Retro Vault. This channel is about keeping these songs and stories alive, and every subscription truly helps the channel grow. It tells YouTube that real country music history still matters and helps these videos reach more people who remember this era. The more support the channel gets, the more stories we can keep bringing you. Number one, Kenny Rogers, The Gambler, 1978.
On a warm summer's evening, a train bound for nowhere.
A train rolling through the night, a worn-out old man offering life wisdom for a cigarette and a sip of whiskey. The whole setup is a joke, and Rogers played it so completely straight that the joke became wisdom, and the wisdom became legend.
Overtook us, and he began to speak. He said, son,
Don Schlitz wrote it in 1976 while working the night shift as a computer operator just to survive, then shopped it around Nashville for 2 full years before Rogers got it.
mind me saying, I could see you're out of aces for a taste.
It hit number 1 on the country chart, peaked at number 16 on the Hot 100, won the Grammy for Best Country Song, and was named CMA Song of the Year in 1979. It inspired 5 made-for-TV movies.
Then he bummed a cigarette and asked me for a light.
The punchline, knowing when to hold and when to fold, became genuine life advice for millions of people across generations and across the world.
When to hold up, know when to fold up.
A joke became a philosophy. A desperate songwriter on a night shift wrote the defining song of someone else's career, and country music was never quite the same. That's number 1, and it's not even close.